After seeing Stormgate's gameplay footage, the StarCraft community got pretty hyped up about the new success in RTS esports. While there is a considerable amount of criticism, most pro players and viewers are certain that Stormgate is going to succeed. It's one of the few RTS games that has a clear vision of what a proper online strategy should look like. With an experienced team of ex-Blizzard employees and backed with the whole RTS community, Stormgate is bound to find a sizable audience upon release. In this video, we'll try to give a prediction of how things will unfold with RTS esports very soon. However, there is one important thing that could be concerning for many fans of StarCraft 2, as well as for other RTS titles. RTS esports isn't as big as MOBA, fighting games or shooters, and the audience is split between only a few series, including StarCraft itself, Warcraft and Age of Empires. The population of these games isn't high, and this is part of the reason why every RTS esports struggled with sponsors, new tournaments and overall growth over time. In addition, only the Age of Empires series is constantly updated with new content, while for other games it's more about maintaining the balance and technical stability. If we take a look at the history of StarCraft 2, there were a few interesting moments in regards to new releases. Many casual players would try out new strategies, but what's really cool, many StarCraft 2 pro players eventually found success in new titles. With every new appearance of an esports game, few StarCraft 2 pros would migrate to the new title with hopes to dominate in new games. When Heroes of the Storm was released, 4 notable players left StarCraft 2: Hasuops, Vortex and Lucifron, and even the legendary Grubby. All these players were famous and they accomplished a lot in StarCraft 2, and with their departure the scene certainly lost some colors and vibes. Hearthstone, even though it's a card game, still managed to attract several StarCraft 2 players. Show, one of the best Swedish Terrans, eventually switched to being a full-time pro. Even the best foreign player in 2015, Lilbo, chose to try his chances in a completely different environment. From StarCraft 2 to Overwatch, that's a totally new experience. But all those examples are of different gaming genres. Sure, you can achieve success in a new field, but it's also clear that a StarCraft 2 pro player can easily utilize his or her success in an RTS game that has a lot more in common with StarCraft 2. That's the reason why Age of Empires 4 is almost completely dominated by ex-StarCraft 2 players. Here are just a few names: The Muslim, Sortov, Lucifron, Vortex, Marine Lord, Beastycutie, and many others. Sometimes you see a player like Mista, and you can easily trace back to his StarCraft 2 career and realize where his skill set originally comes from. There are 3 scenarios that can happen on the Stormgate release. It could be a failure, it could be an okay game, or it could be excellent. The future of RTS esports literally depends on its outcome. So let's discuss each one separately. If Stormgate for some reason fails to attract a new player base and is also disliked by the current RTS community, it might be a bad sign for all the existing franchises. A failed esports RTS title ultimately means lack of interest from the community, and hence marks any future esports investment in the sector as risky. In regards to StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3, they aren't having a lot of dev support even now, and unlike in previous years, there is little to no direct support by Activision Blizzard. While the audience will be most likely concentrated in the old titles, it's difficult to expect a solid growth, because StarCraft 2 is relying mostly on grassroots support from the community, with only ESL and few other orgs bailing it out from the crisis. The games will live on as long as there is a community, but there won't be new glory years or new heights. However, recently we saw posters and possible rumors about StarCraft 3. Personally, I'm being a bit skeptical about it, but even if the rumors are going to be true, the new game won't be released earlier than 2025 or 2026 anyway. If Stormgate becomes a nice successor, but it's not met with high critical acclaim from the casual audience, it might actually be the worst case scenario. It will certainly draw a lot of people from other RTS games, but will it be enough for the long-term growth and development of Stormgate? While it certainly means decline for other games, it doesn't necessarily mean that Stormgate is going to have enough to become sustainable over the course of 5 to 10 years. While undoubtedly there will be a lot of support from the community and players, it's still hard to estimate the amount of players and viewers needed. We have seen that with many other games like Dawn of War 3, Company of Heroes 3, that were mediocre at launch and just didn't have enough time to fully blossom. Many players would just jump ship before things are looking great, and it's quite scary. RTS esports will be divided even more, eventually meaning less numbers on dedicated streams and tournaments, which is not good for sponsors and tournament organizations, as well as players and talents. However, there is a silver lining. Even if the game leaves much to be desired on the release date, there is a 100% guarantee it will be supported for the next 5-10 years, and this is a huge advantage for Stormgate, as it's usually just better to play a game when developers care about it and try to make it better. even if it takes some time. But if Stormgate becomes a perfect esports RTS with also being a treat for any casual players, it's going to be somewhat of a bright future for most of us. Unfortunately, that might also mean that other esports RTS will suffer a rapid decline, as famous players, casters, as well as the general audience will leave for the new game. Imagine StarCraft 2 without the current top 16 players. The game will certainly lose some of its prestige. It's unlikely that Activision Blizzard will suddenly step in to boost StarCraft 2. Sadly, it means that this or the next year will be the last big year for StarCraft 2, and then we'll see less tournaments, less players, and less money in prize pools. However, it gives us hope for an enjoyable 5 to 10 years ride with Stormgate, with high activity, new tournaments, balanced updates, factions, and new esports stories as well. So Stormgate is indeed a revolutionary RTS in lots of ways. The future of the esports RTS is at stake, and let's hope Stormgate will be able to accomplish its goals and bring us a lot of joy. What do you think about it? Share your opinion in the comments and check out more videos about the history of StarCraft 2 esports. Have a nice day and see you next time.